Part 3 to the how to make FU money selling supplements and building a real brand. Last part to this series was over a year ago. I've got some updates. If you don't know who I am, my name's Hayden. I've been building e-com brands for 10 years and I built a supplement brand specifically from $0 to $10 million a year in under 2 years, okay? It's been a year since the last part of this series. I'm gonna go deep under the hood on everything that's working. This brand, I just tallied it up today, had done about $13 million as of today, like almost exactly in lifetime revenue. The bulk of that being in the last 12 months. So 2024, partial year, we did like 200K. Last year, 7.7 million. This year so far, we're halfway through the year and we're pacing in the nines. We'll probably end up at 10 to 12. Now my goal here is to explain to you why, as a very seasoned e-commerce guy, dropshipper, why I literally just shut off other brands. I refuse to do anything else. And I'm focused on supplements right now. It's because I'm playing the long-term game, okay? It's a higher barrier to entry. It costs more to start. It's a much slower way to make money, significantly slower than any company I've ever started. But that inflection point is so nice where it just starts to run away. And yeah, it might be slower to get it going, but eventually becomes so much better. The returning customer rate is everything. That's the core thesis here. We love subscriptions, but even outside of these subscribers, regular customers come back. If you look over the last year, 6.5 million-ish just on Shopify, and over half of the customers that bought are returning, which means either they're on a subscription and they automatically get the product, or they're just coming back again and again. We have tracked it, and our highest current customer has come back 17 times without taking a subscription. That's crazy. There's a bunch of people at 8, 12, 15 returning orders. That's how you know you have a good product, and it's one of those sticky products. You want to sell sticky stuff that people stay with. And just some info for you, once you've been about 3 years in business and you have clean financials for those 3 years, you've kind of unlocked a different level of selling. The business is considered mature, especially with stuff like supplements. There are a lot of people who will want to come in and buy your business. So if you want to choose to sell, you will easily have the option to do so. And if you can scale enough, which is why I'm wearing my Scaling is Cool shirt, let's go, best one for this video. If you can hit 5 million in EBITDA, which is basically bottom line profit, if you can get there, 5 million net, which probably means you're doing 25 to 35 million bucks, depending on your margins, that's where PE enters the chat. Private equity loves buying companies. They're in that like 4 to 5 is kind of usually their more so floor of what they're looking for. They want to buy businesses doing 4 or 5 million bucks net or more, and you will start to get a much larger multiple. So instead of selling for 4 to 6 times your earnings or 7 times, you start talking about 8 to 12 times what you're profiting. So it becomes a very big unlock if you can get there, especially with supplements. They do love that. So I just want to show you this real quick. Again, I show this dashboard all the time in my videos, but 6.5 million bucks on here. If we back up to the lifetime on Amazon, this is from the very first day that I started this Amazon account, okay? It was in 2024. So it's been, I mean, literally 2 years on the dot for Amazon. It's been less time on Shopify, okay? This brand is like 2 years old. I was only on TikTok before. 2 years on Amazon exactly, less than 2 years on Shopify. The Amazon has done $4.3 million. Now, I'm gonna let you in on a secret little insight. I have made more profit on Amazon in total than I have on Shopify, even though Shopify has made a lot more money. Now, Shopify is what I consider your volatile friend, okay? It's gonna be up and down, not as much as TikTok, but it's gonna be inconsistent, and that's based upon how much you're spending on ads, which is based on performance. It's controllable, but it's a little wild. It's for sure our primary subscription platform. Just being transparent with you, we have about $200,000 a month worth of subscribers that are on Shopify. We have subscribers on Amazon, it's just less, okay? I don't even 40 to 60K, so it's like a piece of that. And then meta ads are the most controllable lever for me. A lot of people run heavy Google ads, but typically meta is by far the biggest spending platform. And for us, it's the second biggest line item in our cost on our P&L. And it's cost of goods first, and then it's meta ads, because we spend a lot to acquire customers, which is also why we do well on Amazon, because we're out there, so people go search it. But the nice thing about Shopify, I'm gonna point out when you're scaling, is it enables faster cash recycling. Amazon is slow to pay you out. They're always holding like 150 grand of my money. But Shopify, it's like every day or two we're getting a payout. And so it's just got the flow. It's just that revenue is just recycling, which helps fund growth. It just keeps the money moving. You can pay the bills, which has been very helpful when we scaled aggressively in a short period of time. I mean, this brand went from 60K a month to over $1 million a month in 5 months. That was our big ramp up. We've cooled off and been super stable. So it's like a lot broke, and it was helpful to have the cash. And one thing that's been nice is as we've gotten bigger, we've been able to renegotiate a little bit on certain costs. Hey, how much is this, Chinese manufacturer charging us for the bags that we ship our product in? We got custom bags that have our logo. We can buy labels in bulk. We can negotiate with the manufacturer for products. When we launch new products, we can go to different manufacturers and place a much larger order. And so we can really shop around and get much more competitive cost. And that's been really helpful because these new products we're launching are baked in with much better margin. So we'll put us in a much better position over the next year or two as new products start to grow. Now, I do want to give a quick shout out to my friends over at Team Drop. They've worked with us for a long time and helped a bunch of people inside my coaching group source products. And they do a bunch of different products as well as supplements. It's very hard to get into supplements, which is kind of why I like it, because there's a higher barrier to entry. And so you don't have as many, idiots jumping in and competing, to say the least. But there are some ways to drop ship supplement products, or to find it where you don't have to buy a bunch of product up front. So Team Drop's a great way to do that. They have thousands of products you can go look at for sourcing, but go check out what they have for supplements. Talk to them. There's no subscriptions or fees. It's just if they have what you want or can make it, then you can just work a deal with them and sell it. It's very easy. So if you're looking to get started and don't know the manufacturing arm of that, that's a good resource. I'll leave it linked down below. Now back to this dashboard of Amazon. It's kind of the sneaky platform. I feel like it's a little bit underrated and people don't talk about it as much, but Amazon is really a consistent backbone for my brand. It's very slow and steady. It took a while to get it going. It's never like volatile explosions of virality. Growth is definitely slow. However, when it's coming to your product, this is why I sometimes recommend people, depending on the type of product, don't launch on Amazon right away. You want to launch on your website and maybe on TikTok first to really see the feedback, ideally on a website. So running Facebook ads to Shopify is a great way to do it because you need to make sure you're getting good reviews. And if your product isn't quite dialed in yet, it was the first time the manufacturer made it or whatever it is, different flavor, you need to make sure you're going to get good reviews because on Amazon, you must, this is from my own experience, you must maintain a 3-star or higher to survive. If you want to thrive, it has to be a 4. And I like to give myself a buffer. So a 4.1 to a 4.2 to me is my minimum standard. If we're not there, there's a problem and we need to work on it. And just to point it out for you, if you are selling gummies, you are always going to have a lower rating, period. Because there's stickiness, there's texture, and there's flavor differences. It's very different from a pill. A pill's always gonna have the highest. Powder's gonna be in the middle, and gummy's always gonna have the lowest. You'll notice on Amazon, gummies are in that 3.8 to 4.2. And most powders are a 4 to a 4.4, and then pills are typically 4.5 and up. And so pros and cons, I think it's an easier thing to sell a gummy. It's an easier marketing pitch, but then a little harder on the back end. So there's always pros and cons. TikTok Shop is a roller coaster. This is where I launched my supplement brand. It is continuing to get harder on this platform. A lot of people talk about how they can't get all these affiliates to post and, oh, I sent out 25 samples and nobody wants to post and nobody made a sale. It's like, dude, for starters, let's think of one simple thing here. If you can't go viral yourself with your own brand content, why would you expect someone else to? It's a fair question. And it's the same question that I've asked myself many times. And so that's why I, running this company, have jumped in and forced us to go viral by making my own crappy videos and got it to work, right? And so that's an important piece. If you can make your own brand content, TikTok's gonna be a lot easier. And doing this right makes everything easy. I'll tell you right now, the biggest lever you can pull is go viral on TikTok, I promise you. It will make all your Facebook ads easy. You'll have unlimited creatives that are already proven to work. You will get a lot of spillover search to Amazon. It's just very hard to do. So I wouldn't only focus on this. I would try to do a couple of things to get sales. It's getting harder and harder. Now I'm gonna show you something random that helps me double down on this whole FU money idea. I am on flight number 40 for this year. Okay, I use this app to track it. I've been all over the world, up into northern Japan and stuff. I'm pacing 80 flights again, which will not be my record year. It's kind of brutal. However, I've spent less than $2,000 on flights. Why? I run a lot of ads. We get Amex points. I have been racking up a crazy amount of points. I have way too many Amex points. I don't need them. So we're actually looking to switch to 3% cash back on our ad spend because on hundreds of thousands a month, that's a good $80,000 to $100,000 a year, maybe $200,000 a year straight to the bottom line profit, which is probably $1 million in value added to my business just by doing that. Crazy stuff. But in the beginning, very, very helpful to not have to pay for any sort of travels that you do, okay? I've barely spent any money this year on flights. So just another benefit that allows you to keep more money that then you can invest either back in your business or elsewhere. That's my motto. Like when I tell people how much money I spend personally, typically it's shocked them on how low it is. I've had flare-ups and little whatever, but in general, I spend very little, very optimized with it. I look for good deals, that's how I do things. Now I'm gonna give you 2 very important points here. Number 1, Over-delivering on customer support. If you want to make FU money with any business long-term, you have to focus on the customer. Most people in the e-commerce space get in because they want to make quick money. They're short-sighted with it. You have to deliver good support, okay? Track your refund rate, your chargeback rate, satisfaction score. Have a little survey after they deal with support, okay? You have no chance at long-term success without an amazing customer experience. I didn't say an okay customer experience. I said amazing, okay? Here's a mindset shift. Okay, you think about this with you or your team, whoever you have. Sit down and be like, okay, a customer buys from us. What do they expect? Probably expect an order confirmation email. A day or two later, they'd like an email that says, hey, your order's packaged and it's heading out. You know, here's a tracking number. It's pretty standard. Maybe an update along the way, but they probably expect it to get there within what, 5 days? Okay, 4 or 5 business days. Okay, that's the standard. Now, that's your base. How do you forcefully exceed that? What can you do? Can you add another flavor of your product? And, oh, well, that's too expensive. Okay, well, let's make a little sample pack. It's a single serving. Can we add a note? Can we do a written note inside of there? Most people put like a freaking printed business card that has like a QR code that's like a coupon for them to go buy again. It's like, dude, nobody likes that shit. Like, that doesn't work. Like, actually over-deliver on a customer experience. Freaking put a $1 bill, fold it into an origami bird and like throw it in there. Like, what can you do that is over-delivering? Ask that question, find an answer to it, test different things. Like, we set up an automatic survey post-purchase. So I'm gonna talk about post-purchase surveys right now. We ask them when their birthday is, and it has an automatic zap setup that then sends them stuff. Not a promotional crap, but like there's so many different things you can do to over-deliver, okay? And that's fun stuff. Now, post-purchase survey data is the most underrated thing in e-commerce. I don't know why people don't do it. There's so many apps out there. I'm not paid to promote any. I don't care which one you use. Like, we use Faring. It's very simple. But don't know what product you want to launch? Ask. Don't know what new flavor you should launch? Ask. Give them questions. Customers will gladly tell you their height, their age, their income, their profession, their marital status, anything you want to know. I'm telling you, I have 15,000 responses to how much money do you make per year. Okay, I didn't need that much data. We have since removed the question and swapped it for others. But we have tens of thousands of responses from our customers. We did 100,000 orders in 1 year on Shopify, okay? It's awesome. Like, it's so cool to see, and we can ask those customers questions. So we have tens of thousands of responses that lets me know exactly who my demographic is, their age, what they do for a living, and then I can take that and build more ads that kind of target those types of people. We can partner with influencers that have that type of demographic, and that is ultimately how we win. It's just a flywheel, but you got to give your customers a good customer experience. You got to understand them. You got to have ads and landing pages that target them specifically and call out their problems and help bring them to a solution. And all this is irrelevant if you don't have a good product. You've got to have a good product. But products like supplements are sticky. People take it. It's like toothpaste. It's like shampoo. It's like, supplements. Like, when was the last time you changed these things? Once you get them on board, they stay. Which is why, I'm going to bring this point home here, you typically don't make money right away with supplements. It's very expensive to get a customer. It's hand-to-hand combat when you're running ads. We have some sources of getting customers that we profit right away. Others break even. A lot of them are break even or losing a little, but those customers come back. So as you grow, you know your numbers and you can start to lean into the ones that lose a little bit but help you scale. And that's what all the big boys do in this industry. Anyways, if you want to watch me build this brand live every single week, work with me one-on-one, ask any questions, get access to my team, every manufacturer, compliance person, label person, whatever, everything that I use, you can go down below and apply for my coaching group and book a free call to chat with us. I'd recommend at least 10 to 20 grand as a starting budget if you're trying to get into supplements. It's a little higher barrier to entry, but I document this entire process. They see the brand, they see inside my ad account, they see everything. They get to see inside of this stuff and what's working inside the ad account and how much we're spending and what's the results from it and how I'm justifying that and the LTV on the back end. They get to see all that. And I'll end with this. Remember what I said about the inflection point where it just gets better even though it's a slower start? I've crossed that point. And if this was a regular drop shipping store that's done the same amount of numbers, it's been up for 2 years just like this one, if it was the same situation, it would be a lot more work right now and a lot more stressful to be this consistent. We're cool as a cucumber right now. If it was a drop shipping store, we'd probably just be running Facebook ads and it'd be hand-to-hand combat every single day and it would just be rough. The feedback would be worse. Everything would just be worse, okay? And that's where I like this. I like this long-term. Is 2 years really long-term? Let me ask you that.